Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Today I want to talk about this man, George Adamski. He died about, 50 or so years ago. I read one of his books, Inside the Spaceships, and the flying saucers have landed. Both excellent reads, go in great detail about his information about what he calls the Space Brothers and flying saucers and things like that. But he never referred to them as aliens. He always referred to them as Space Brothers, coming from the planets that are probably closest to us: Saturn, Jupiter, mainly from Mars and from Venus. The thing that I took from those books, not only was his information very entertaining, because I like to read about UFOs, but it was very different from what you would read or see on TV shows about aliens or UFOs or those kind of things. But he says how they're here to help. And the thing that I really took from it more than anything was how concerned they were for humanity. Every one of them was very, very, very concerned about it. Because this stuff was written back in the 50s and the 60s during the Cold War and the buildup of nuclear arms and all that kind of stuff. And how knowledgeable they were of what was going on our planet. And but how kind they were, how gentle they seemed in spirit and things like that. And every one of them. Now, he met a few of them in public, so they didn't look like monsters. He said they looked like us. The thing that I thought was kind of interesting was the Martians were shorter people. They were smaller, but they looked human, just like you or I or whatever. But he had evidence of meeting them. He met one in the desert, and the Venusian who he had spoken with in the desert actually made footprints out there. And so when he came back to show a friend, the footprints were still there. So it's not just something that was in his head, but he actually rode in the spaceships. He has diagrams of what the inside the spaceships look like in great detail. But the thing that I wanted to kind of tell you guys about, and the thing that I hope that if you pull anything from these videos that I'm doing, is how fantastic an idea, how amazing a concept and an event is the return of the Christ is. It's so much more than the return of the Christ. Not only is it just the return of the Christ, for instance, it's a return of a teacher for all humanity, so not just for the Christians, but it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that that's it for us, and the good go to heaven and the bad go to hell. It's just the beginning of our potential of living on this planet. But also, if you notice, the evidence is mounting about these Space Brothers. More and more and more lights are in the sky, crop circles going on. And of course, scientists deny it, say it's wind patterns that are doing that. But if you look at the intricate designs of these things, how can you deny that it isn't something unusual? And how can somebody say that it's, a bunch of farmers wanting to make money and they're out there with panels of wood? I mean, the intricate designs of these they just keep getting more and more complex as time goes on. But they're here to help us. They're here to help open our eyes to the fact that they are out there, that they want to interrelate with us more and more, because there is more to life than just living on this planet. But the other thing too is when Maitreya comes out and people know who he is, they recognize him who he is, they're starting to listen to his advice. His job is to guide and galvanize humanity to solve the world's greatest problems, and then to help us live and create much fuller and richer lives for ourselves, right? I mean, I know that's an understatement, but that's kind of the way I'm seeing it in a 5-minute video. But the one thing that I know that he's going to do is help remove the fear and guilt of humanity. And one of the biggest fears that we have, I mean, it's amazing how much we live in fear all over the place. We're afraid of each other, we're afraid of this, we're afraid of that, but we're afraid of aliens. And that's why these movies from Hollywood and things like that do such a disservice to humanity, because they only show, I mean, I guess there's a few of them out there, but they only show people from outer space being just monstrous, that are here to kill us. But according to George Adamski and Benjamin Creme, they're not here to kill us. They don't abduct anybody. They don't mutilate any animals. They don't have any kind of nefarious intention. They're only here to help. In fact, they have a technology that if they had wanted to destroy us, they could destroy a city in less than a second. But yet, as evidence mounts more and more and more, I've seen evidence of UFOs in the sky. You probably have. Maybe you were aware of it, maybe you're not. I don't know. But if you look on videos on YouTube, you see more and more videos of UFOs going on all over the world. They're everywhere. And yet, we're all still here. Nobody's taken us over. I mean, there's been evidence of UFOs for decades and decades and decades, but yet we're still here living. And the fact of the matter is, I'm actually more scared of what my president might do than I am about UFOs coming and taking us over. And so I hope that the more you listen to these videos, if you are scared because you believe the popular view of aliens and coming to take us over and stuff, hopefully it'll help to remove some of that fear of it, because they are here to help. There is no such thing as little green men coming from other planets, the grays, the this, that, the other. They're not, those don't exist. They're all fantasy. But people like George Adamski and Benjamin Creme, who have had legitimate contacts with these people, if you read more about it, when you read George Adamski's books or books by Benjamin Creme or something, hopefully you'll get a better sense of who these people really are. And thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you again in future videos.